Ay, 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 ay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, family? Long time no speak. Welcome back. I'm probably going to play an audio clip of that. What's going on, guys? It's been ages. So even though you got shortchanged on season 2, I'm going to apologize and we'll call this season 2.5. Even though I want to just jump right into 3. Hear that in the background, right? So I got some announcements. A lot of things have changed. This is why it's taken me so long to get back into the More Than Just Surviving Life podcast. I'm currently doing one with my wife called the Coco Alesa podcast. If you guys want to check out what's going on there and give us some listens. But things that have changed since I started this cast. I was definitely married when I started the cast because my book came from that. But I have kids now. I have 2 kids now, which is actually part of what's taken so long to get back to this, right? So a lot more things to talk about, a lot more to identify with for those of us who are grinding and trying to be better and happier and hopeful and stronger and more positive with families. Because it's one thing to have this conversation when it's just you. It's another thing to have this conversation when you're doing it in the midst of responsibilities and life going on around you. So that's a dope new addition. Also, something that we're going to be talking about for the first time in my life. Not for the first time, that was ridiculous. For the first time in 7 years, guys. First time in 7 years, I'm back to living in the United States of America. We'll see how long that lasts. But the great thing that comes about this is we're going to be marketing and moving the book more. We've got new books coming out, okay? On top of that, we're going to be doing meet and greets, and I'm going to be doing motivational speaking events in different cities. That's my little number one lady right there in the background. My kids are going to be a part of the cast now. So for some of you, it's going to be a turn off, and I understand that. For the rest of you, it is what it is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for riding with us. Thank you for being on this journey together. We're doing the same, guys. We're doing more of it. We're doing it in a better way. Okay, so working on new books that are coming out. We're going to be marketing the first book board. We're going to be doing motivational meet and greets. We're going to be connecting. We have a lot of different things that are going to be going on and have access to and available now that we're in the States. So on that note, without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it because, I like to get right to it. So we have immediate impact, immediate value as soon as we start. I hope everybody has started off their new year with the best energy and best mindset possible. But from what we think and what we feel and believe, we don't even need to wait for the new year. But we're not talking about that, right? The energy, the big energy is good. It's great. But you know what I wanted to do this first episode back on? Something that people have a ton of trouble with. Something that people never talk about. And that's why I'm going to talk about it with you guys right now. The slow grind. Let that sink in. Hear those words. Come back to it. We're going to say it again. The slow grind, okay? A lot of you know what the slow grind is, but just in case you don't, the slow grind is going to be one of the most difficult parts of changing your life, of turning your life over, of moving forward. I don't care if you're talking about going to school, going to work, starting a business, building anything new, the slow grind is a part of your process, okay? And I can talk about this because for me, I'm a big action, big volume guy. I always want to be doing what needs to be done right now. Bang, bang, bang. Always in the moment, always making it happen, never wasting any opportunities, any experience. Life is too short. We only get one, right? But again, this is why people don't talk about the slow grind. And what's the slow grind? The slow grind is that time period. It's that phase where no matter how hard you're working, how hard you're going, how bad you want it, you gotta wait. And I'm telling you, it feels so rough. It's a momentum killer for so many people. It's like going to the gym, right? New year, new things, gym life, right? And then you take a weekend off. And then after you get that weekend off, I'll take one more day off. I'll go back in another 2 days. I'll start again next week. The slow grind is a momentum killer. And this knocks so many people out of the box. But you cannot let it discourage you, right? Because it's not that you're giving up. It's not that you're forgetting. It's not that you're falling. It's not that you're failing. It's a part of the process. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys something T.I. said years ago. One of my favorite verses from him in a song called Drive Slow. He said, me in the fast lane is like metal and magnets. And this is me, guys, okay? I'm telling you, I love to go fast like Ricky Bobby. I want to do it right now. But I'm telling you, sometimes there's those stop gaps. And that's a reality. And once you learn to accept those realities and bring them into your experience and understand that they are a part of the experience, that they are a part of the growth, they hurt less. They hurt less. I say that sincerely, right? Because if you're doing everything super fast and you're going 100 miles per hour for all of it, 100 miles per kilometer, or 100 kilometers per minute, right? We got to change it up. We got to do different because some people do imperial, some people do, okay? But if you're going your top speed all the time, and let's say even the last 20, no, the first 20 miles, the first 20 kms of your trip, you do wrong, you know how much that alters your journey? And you don't catch it till you slow down. And if you're only slowing down because your journey's become hindered by mistakes you made, you know how much more detrimental that is to your process, to your progress, to you? There are times where you have to slow down so you can catch things, so that you can see things are done the wrong way and adjust and do them right. How many of us are taking the time we need to reflect? Okay? That's something we don't talk about in the hustle lifestyle, in the grind lifestyle, in the motivation lifestyle. How important it is to take the time to slow down, stop, and reflect. Here's what I've done. Here's how I did it. Here's what I could be doing better. What have you learned from the process so far? And that's what the slow grind is for. Like I said, the slow grind is only harmful. It only sucks. It only takes away from you if you're not using it to the best of your ability and making the most of it. If you have a point in your progress, in your process, where you can't do anything, because let's say you need help from someone else, or you need to get approval from a government agency, or that's time that you should be using to learn more, to grow more, to get better, to reflect on the things that have done, right? Because let's say this pause, this stopgap, this moment in the slow grind has happened as a result of your actions. What do you do with that? How do you improve on it? How do you make it a new experience? Well, instead of being down and sad and mopey and upset about the things that you can't do, you say, wait, all right? This is how I got here. Let's make sure we never get here again. How do I learn from this experience? How do I do this better than I did it last time so I don't have to repeat this? There's always room to be learning something new, doing something different, learning to do something better. We know that. We've talked about it. We talk about it all the time. That's never going to stop. Okay? 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Keep the same energy. Do it better. Do it better, okay? And if that's my number one takeaway from today, that's what we're talking about, guys. Do not let the slow grind hurt you. Do not let it take away from you. Do not use it and think about it as a loss. Use it as a stepping point to get better, okay? I'm going to come back better than ever. I'm going to make sure I never make this mistake again. You know how many people have said that? So many people have said that. Look, I'll give you the perfect example. He's not a very popular guy right now because of He's not a very popular guy right now because of a lot of the controversy going around his name and his views and his opinions. But something that Kevin Hart said, which is very real and very true, is when he got famous, when he got rich, there was a lot of things he didn't know and didn't understand about money because nobody had ever taught him. And so the thing that he didn't handle properly, that quite a few people won't handle properly, was taxes. Okay? And even though he still got a great amount of money, when the government came for him, they came hard. They sliced like a goddamn hammer. Okay? The house always wins to some extent. They want their money. And anything that you make is a part of their money, guys. Okay? And so that was a lesson that he had to learn the hard way. But learning it the hard way meant he never needed to learn that lesson again. And I understand that on a personal level, okay? Because what are my family words? You know what my family words are, guys? You know what my family motto is? Success through hardship. That's who I am. That's who we are as a people. We fight harder. We go harder. We shine our brightest. We do our best. We flourish the most in adversity. There's a lot of people, adversity breaks them. They never step back from it. That's not who we are. That's not who we want to be. You had one bad experience, I don't want to do, no. That's the goal. To have a bad experience and then to use it as motivation to make sure you never have a bad experience again in that way. Okay? Use them as growth, using as stepping stones. I make mistakes. I never make the same mistake twice. I promise you that. And that's what your stop gaps need to be. Corrections, correction points. How can I do better? What can I be refining? Okay? And I'm telling you guys, as much as I'm going to jump on from here and move into it a different way because we don't want it to be repetitive, I need this to sink in. I need you to understand. You guys hear my little lady? I need this to sink in. I need you to understand this because so many people get stuck in the slow grind and never come back out of it. I'm telling you, I'm going to say it again. I don't care if it's about school. I don't care if it's about work. I don't care if it's about life. The slow grind eats more people than success and failure put together. Okay? The slow grind is not an end. It's not a stopping point. Okay? It's a pit stop. It's a pit stop. I don't know how many of you watch NASCAR or watch racing. Even if you've seen the movie Cars because you have kids. You know something all cars need? Pit stops. They need to refuel. They need to change their tires. They need to hydrate the drivers, okay? If we're talking about optimal performance, even if we're talking about, let's say anything, right? If we're talking about a computer, can you run your computer constantly, non-stop, without ventilation, with it getting super hot on the inside and not burning out? No. We're talking about guns, machine guns. If you guys see the movies, if you look at the movies, people never have to reload and they can fire 1,000,000 clips and the gun never gets hot. I'm telling you, in real life, in the military, even the high-powered guns and rifles, you fire a big gun, an automatic gun, that long, no stopping, you will destroy your gun. It will be too hot to touch. You will burn your skin. There's so much harm and injury that can come from not taking the time you need to stop. And this is why we talk about understanding the process, okay? And understanding what the slow grind is and how to use it to your benefit is a part of the process. One of the biggest and most important things, you know what? It's been so long since we've done this, guys. It's been so long since we've jumped into these seasons that I don't even know if this is something we talked about. But one of the most important and most beneficial things that you can do for yourself, research. Research, right? There's this show. We're going to have to go back. All right, we'll cut that out. There's this show. Mama, let go of your chair, my baby. Can you change her, please, baby? There's this show, right? It's very popular. Hasn't been on in years, but it's a cult classic. Oh, she needs a new OFO, too.
She should.
Yeah. There's a show, hasn't been on in years, but it's a cult classic, right? And the show is called The Wire. And in the last season of The Wire, right, they're training young kids to be gunmen, to kind of be assassins. And the lesson that they teach the star pupil that they have is set up on them before they set up on you. Okay? And one of the number one things that separates people, that defeats people before they even start, and definitely once they've started in the worst way, is not having enough information. Not having done proper due diligence and research. I see it all the time. I'm telling you, not even just as a teacher, because that's something that's changed. I spent all of 2018 as a teacher for the first time in my life at a university, and it was an amazing experience. It taught me a lot about myself, a lot about other people. It helped me to make a difference and an impact in the lives of a great many people, and it's an experience I cherish, right? But I'm going to tell you something about that. Something about this case that we're talking about with The Wire, too. Even in my new business ventures, because we're working on a couple new businesses, right? I see it all the time. And that's one of the biggest benefits to doing things in a group, in a community, seeing the amount of due diligence that people don't do is astonishing. I've taken a class myself recently, right? And I watched someone lay out every single step of the information that needed to be done, step by step in this process, right? And things that I saw, they took the time to explain in amazing and extreme detail. And then I will literally watch someone ask a question about something that was explained in implicit detail, and my mind is blown. And I'm like, you didn't listen at all. I'm like, you didn't listen at all. You paid no real attention to the time this individual took to teach you these things. You paid no real attention to the effort that was put into this information, not for the person giving it, but for you. And what are we coming back to? The slow grind. This is what the slow grind is for. Okay? Something that we say in the book, something that you guys have heard me say in the show. If it's something you care about, if it's something you're working on or working towards, you should always be taking notes. You should always be taking notes. The first part of why it's good to take notes is because writing something down makes it real, locks it in your memory, makes it easy to remember. We know that. But what's the second part that people never do and never go back to on notes? To study. To refresh your memory. To reaffirm what you know, right? Not even just that. You study and you get the theory knowledge that someone gets you. But then you go out and you do. And when you go out and you do, you get practical knowledge. And then what do, guys? You hit that slow grind. You hit that stopgap, and then you go back and you study and you reflect. You look at the theory knowledge that you've learned. You refresh on things that you've missed. You apply your practical knowledge. You marry the two together. And what you get as a result is growth, is strength, is empowerment, it's betterment. Okay? That is the point of all of this. Me talking to you, me telling you these things, me sharing these experiences is to take and give you my experience, the theory, the knowledge, and to marry it together and give you guys a better product than I started with, so you can grow from these situations, so you can do it without having to make my same mistakes. This is something I told my students, and this is something that was said to me that I'll never forget. Very proud of myself in this moment. Not right now, but originally, I was having a conversation. I was very proud of myself from almost a boastful place, because something that's super true of me, I learn from my mistakes. Said it already in the beginning of this. I never make the same mistake twice, right? I learn from my mistakes. Might be similar. I'll make it in a different way, but it's not the same mistake. And so I said that to someone, again, from a place of pride. I said, I learned from my mistakes. And they knocked me back on my heels and they said, well, shit, I'd rather learn from other people's. Let that sink in. Okay? That again is the point of this podcast. It's the point of this show. It's the point of my book. It's the point of what we've been doing for so long, guys. When you get good enough, when you learn to listen, when you learn to be open-minded, when you learn to think, you can learn from other people's mistakes. And that's one of the greatest things that I've taken into account and transferred into my adulthood. Okay? And I don't listen to everyone, because I'm not asking for everyone's advice. I'm not asking for everyone's expertise. I don't want information from everyone. One of the things that I hate most in life is unsolicited advice. If I didn't ask you, I don't want to know. Keep your opinion to yourself. But if I've taken the time to ask someone what they think, if I sincerely want you to share your opinion because I view and understand the value in what you have to say, then you know what I'm going to do in that situation? I'm going to listen intently. I'm going to hear that person and I'm going to let their information sink in. I'm going to take notes, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to apply it. There's nothing more valuable to you than the advice that you have invested in. And if you understood that enough to invest in it, then why would you not take it a step further and make sure you're following through with the things that you asked about? That somebody took time out of their busy schedule, their busy life, their busy day to share with you and teach you. I don't believe in wasting time because there is nothing more valuable than time. So if someone is giving you some of their extremely valuable time to teach you and help you grow and enrich your life, and you ask for this, why would you not make the most of it? Right? And question, not a statement, question, not for me, but for you. Okay? Do you get anything the first time? I don't. That's not a shot I'm taking at you guys. It's a real question. There are very few things in life, and I have an amazing learning curve. There are very few things in life that I learned the first time cold and never need to do or practice again. There's a joke that I tell with my wife that I heard in a movie that I've been telling for years, right? A guy is standing on the streets in New York City and he's asking someone for directions. And he says, hey, excuse me, you know how you get to Carnegie Hall? And the person looks at him and says, practice, practice, practice. Funny joke. I love that joke. Okay? But it's true. It's serious. It's 100% serious. You do not get anything cold the first time. Very rarely does that happen. So if that's the case, why should you not be reflecting on this information that you've invested in? Why should you not be reflecting on this information that you paid for because it was that valuable to your life and your future? Okay? Coming back to the point like we always do. What is this about? What is this all about? The slow grind. Learn to appreciate the slow grind for what it is, guys. An opportunity for growth. A chance to be better. A chance to do more. A chance to come back learned and improved from the mistakes that you've made so that you will never need to make them again. Okay? End this on a Game of Thrones quote. Tyrion talking to Jon Snow, teaching and sharing his life lessons. Tyrion the imp and Jon Snow the bastard. Always remember what you are, bastard. Live it, embrace it, hunger for it, you know what I mean? So that no one can ever use it against you. I paraphrase, but you know what he's talking about? Learning and growing from your experiences. Learning to live in the suck. People cannot use against you or turn against you things that you have learned from and use to grow and improve on. Use the slow grind to your best effect and your best benefit. Never let the slow grind make you feel like you've lost. Because you don't lose until you stop. You don't lose until you give up. And just because somebody else or other things that are out of your control have slowed you down does not mean that you've stopped or lost. Welcome back. Thank you for being with me, family. Oh, announcements. Crazy announcements, guys, right? Amazing things that have happened. You know what's something amazing that's going to happen since we started this process? This is big for us. I don't care what anybody else's numbers are. We're about to push over our first 7,000 downloads. And I want to say thank you to everybody that listens. We have listeners from all over the world. We're in 16 plus countries. Cambodia, Georgia, the continent of Africa. We're in America. We're in South America. We're in France. We're in Canada. We are all over. And I want to thank you guys so much for that. The reason I needed to do this also, put out season 2, and season 2 downloads were bigger and larger than season 1's. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, okay? Something that we're going to start doing now, guys, right? I want to hear from you. I need to hear from you. I want to know about your experiences. I want to know how the program has impacted you. I want to know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Have you read the book, okay? If you're on Twitter, you can reach me and contact me at ARGENTBEARKING. Argent Bear King on Twitter. Also, Theodore Helvavir on Twitter. I want you to hashtag for me more than just surviving life, okay? Hashtag more than just surviving life. And tell me what you think, what your experience has been, okay? Also, email me. If you guys want to talk to me personally, you want to chat me up, you want to let me know what you agree with and disagree with, you can reach me at hohcollective@gmail.com. That's HOH, okay? COLLECTIVE, HOH Collective. If I spell collective wrong, then you spell it the right way, at gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, okay? There's a HOH Collective Facebook page. Reach out, guys. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of this process. Love you guys deeply. I hope your journey is going well. We're coming back into it. Season 3, more than just surviving life. We're here.